that your compassion, O Lord, and your love are from old. In your kindness, remember me because of your goodness, O Lord. In the daring words of the psalmist, and what we've just heard proclaimed a moment ago from Psalm 25, God is implored to remember his covenant, the covenant which we hear referenced in the first reading. If that strikes us as a bit odd, it should. Of course, it is not God who needs to remember. The only ones who ever seem to forget the covenant are his people. And so we come to the great Lenten fast, the time and space that is a gift and an opportunity to remember. On Ash Wednesday, we were reminded of our humble beginnings. The very root of the word humility is humus, soil, earth. And so we are instructed to remember that you are dust, and to dust you shall return. Or alternatively, the person distributing ashes may exhort us to repent and believe in the gospel, as Jesus does in today's passage. We need to remember God's mercies and fidelity to us and return to him in fullness of heart, repenting of our sinfulness, our selfishness, and most of all, our spiritual amnesia. Today, our parish's catechumens, as well as those from around the entire Archdiocese, will fill this space from corner to corner for the rite of election. The elect will be enrolled as those desiring to be baptized at the Easter Vigil, ready to accept the covenant of love fulfilled in Jesus Christ. For the rest of us, including the candidates who, while already baptized, are prepared to enter the church fully through a profession of faith, Lent is not a season of preparation for baptism, but a time to remember the gift of baptism we have received. For some Christians, baptism is merely symbolic of a faith professed and held in the heart. But our second reading, straight from the mouth of St. Peter, reminds us that baptism is so much more than a symbolic rite. The waters of the flood, the waters of the Red Sea, and other such Old Testament scenes merely prefigured baptism, which saves you now. We listen to the times in the Old Testament in which God acts on behalf of his people in order to remember his faithfulness to us. But in the waters of baptism, we are literally saved. We are immersed in the passion, death, and resurrection of Jesus Christ and drawn into the life of God. We are not once saved and always saved, but we are cleansed of original sin, adopted as sons and daughters of God, and given the sanctifying grace that is at work in each of us. This is the flame with which the baptismal candle is lit, which is entrusted to parents, godparents, and eventually the baptized themselves to protect, nourish, and grow. When we sin, we forfeit this sanctifying grace little by little, but we have recourse to the sacrament of penance to be healed and restored to the fullness of life in the Spirit. And so this especially as our parish mission this weekend, the Sisters of Life, have reflected on the aspects of prayer, fasting, and almsgiving, is a good opportunity for some practical and spiritual housekeeping. The time of Lent is indeed a time for prayer, and so, in linking to that last note, it's a reminder that here at the Co-Cathedral, the sacrament of penance is available 7 days a week. Not to comment on other places, but if Mass is important enough to celebrate every day, the sacrament of penance is as well. And it is a great blessing that this Co-Cathedral, since its founding, has been dedicated to confessions every day. Yes, we know at times there are long lines. Sometimes it's tough to get everyone through with the priests we have, and yet who can complain? That means people are coming to the sacrament of penance. What a blessing, and what a time now to remember the great gift of mercy that Jesus offers to us time and time again. Not only can we go to confession, both in frequency and through more intentionality and better preparation, but there are opportunities such as this weekend's mission, and there are opportunities ongoing. We have 2 more installments of adoration by candlelight during this Lenten season, February 27th and March 19th. We have First Friday, and so many other opportunities, and then of course Holy Week itself, with so much to prepare our hearts in prayer. Lent is a time of fasting, of sacrificing, not for just the sake of sacrificing, but to make room for what is really needed, to free up time and resources for greater generosity of heart. And Lent is a time for almsgiving. Often we can reduce almsgiving to just a matter of giving money. And of course, being a pastor, I'm not going to miss the opportunity to talk about that. But there is so much more. As a bit of housekeeping, since it's been a few weeks since I've been able to preach to the parish here, a few updates related to finances and projects going on. I'll quickly run through these because it's not the point of the homily. But our offertory is the bread and butter of charitable giving here at the parish. Yes, it funds operations and the like, but it also is the backbone of our ability to minister to others, to do charitable outreach to our own people and to the most needy among us. Our budget for offertory is a need of $32,000 a week. For those who have been paying attention to the bulletin, we have been under $25,000 a week for going on almost a year. And that's resulted in a massive deficit that does continue to threaten our ability to function and meet the need of others. And so the offertory is the most basic way in which here in the parish you can give alms to help others. Last weekend you heard the pitch, the annual one from the Archdiocese for the Diocesan Services Fund. Every year I take this opportunity to express my gratitude to those of you who gave. The DSF, I can say, is 100% ministerial. It's it's mandatory for the parishes, but for good reason. It's an opportunity to minister to those whose needs would fall through the cracks if it were left just to each parish. And so my hope this year, while the parish goal is $150,000 assigned by the Archdiocese, the number I pay most attention to is the participation rate in the parish. More so than the size of the gifts, an opportunity to live out our gospel call to give, no matter how big or how small it may be, but to give something. And then, of course, we're in the midst of our capital campaign, completing the walk. We are approaching the completion of the Archbishop Joseph A. Fiorenza Plaza, the first phase of our campaign. It's set to be completed right around Easter time. But there's still plenty of work to be done on the campaign. We're currently of our $9.8 million goal. We're at $7 million raised right now with gifts, with major donors still going on, but still the need and opportunity for so many to pitch in, whatever the gift size may be. That's enough about money. As I said, that's the trap of almsgiving, as we can reduce it to a matter of money. One need not have a penny in their bank account to give alms. Generosity comes from the heart. And so there are opportunities to encounter the other and meet needs. One such example is next Saturday's Caritas Day, our annual day of parish service, in which so many people come from around the local archdiocese to join us for the many projects that we'll do for different groups of people in need. And this is a reminder that you can still sign up now. Go on the website and find a project for you. We will fittingly start the morning with Mass here in the Co-Cathedral. In the words of Mother Teresa, we need to encounter and contemplate the face of Jesus himself if we are to be able to see him through his distressing disguises and the faces of others we minister to. But beyond even Caritas Day, the opportunities organically throughout our day to see others and to invest a piece of ourselves into other people, not to give from our surplus, but to give of our very selves, to see another and say, you matter. We have so many opportunities this Lent and all the time to be renewed inwardly and outwardly, and to remember the great gift we have been given. And so, like Jesus, the same Spirit drives us into this Lenten desert for 40 days. We are subject to temptation, but we receive the constant ministering care of God. And in the silence of the desert, we strip away the excess noise, the distractions, the comforts, and we are reminded of what is real. So whether we are preparing for baptism or calling to mind the baptism by which God saves us and lives in us, and we in him, this is the time of fulfillment. The kingdom of God is at hand. Repent and believe in the gospel.